It's that time of the week again to go beyond the panel. Marie Wilson from BeyondTheBlastDoors.com joins us. Marie, so good to see you. How are you doing this week?
I am doing fabulously.
Fabulously splendid.
Yes.
I just watched, that just reminded me of this Bly Street, something horror thing on Netflix. And the little girl is perfectly splendid. That's what that just reminded me of. But hey, we're not here to talk about horror, although it is our Halloween episode. But let's talk about Star Wars comics because that's what we like to do, Marie. And this week, the big comic is Dr. Aphra #5. And, I just have this love-hate relationship with Aphra because it's fun, but sometimes I feel kind of disconnected from the galaxy. Marie, if no one's following Dr. Aphra, this second series or second volume of Dr. Aphra, what do we need to know about what's happening in her world?
So she is after the rings of Vale. There's a ring of eternal life and a ring of fortune. And her new crew has come together to try to get those rings. But Ronan Tag, a relative of Cassio Tag, wants the rings for himself so he can destroy them so no one else can ever have them.
Okay.
And in this issue, we get the deal that Aphra set up in the previous issue. She said she was going to make a deal with Ronan. And so she presents her deal, and beneath the surface of the deal, we know there's some devious stuff going on because it's Aphra, so there's got to be some kind of twist happening. She can't be that heartless. And so it all turns out pretty awesome in the end.
I love how you said that. But by the end, it gets better. I want to ask about, for someone who is, not following this series, what would you say like the overall impact of this comic would be? If I'm a casual fan, what are the things that I can look forward to that will get me excited about it? Like, does it really impact like the main storyline,
Mm.
or are we playing somewhere in the different part of the galaxy?
Well, in her second series, it's not near as connected as the first series was. The first series was connected with Darth Vader, with the
Mm-hmm.
Rebel base on Hoth, and all those things. This second series is a little more separated from the rest of the galaxy.
And would you say that um, if you think about this issue, what is the one panel that makes it worth me going to my local comic book shop and picking up this comic for a couple of bucks?
So my favorite panel was actually Ronan Tag's aunt, Lady Domina. There's this big panel of her. It's sort of back a little bit, and she's in the distance staring out a view window on a spaceship, and she just looks ethereal. And it was kind of dreamy looking. And then the next panel is her facing the front of her, and she just looks powerful and intense. And I'm really excited to see where we go with Lady Domina.
I'm really excited too, and and again, kind of going to my point, it's not a series that I'm diehard on. I know that she's maybe your favorite, Marie,
Oh
and so
yeah.
that's why I always enjoy this conversation, is because you're able to keep me up to date on the books that I'm not following as much. You know, if you were to rank the comics that are coming out right now, you have a lot, right? You have Charles Soule's Star Wars mainline. You have the Greg Pak Vader. You have Alyssa Wong's Dr. Aphra that we just talked about, and a few others, the Star Wars Adventures. What is the run right now that is keeping your interest the most? What is the comic that we need to be all following right now?
I'm gonna have to say Darth Vader. It's so weird because I always say, how can there be more Vader stories? But it's such a good series. The most recent one surprised me because I thought it was just gonna be punishing of Vader and kind of weird, and but it ended up having a depth to it that was totally unexpected, and it was whew, scary. So so I would definitely say the Vader run.
I can roll with that for sure. And I'd have to agree with you. I guess I'm biased. I'm surprised because as much of a fan as I am of Charles Soule, I'm kind of surprised that I'm not picking the main Star Wars run, but I think I've said it a few times on Beyond the Panel. A lot of exposition, and I just think that Gregory Pack is just really fully immersed himself in this Vader run, so I'm really enjoying that. Before we go, I know coming up next week, well, believe it or not, we're gonna be in November. Scary how 2020 took like 37 years to wrap up, and now we're almost at the end of the actual year. But we have Star Wars number 8, Tarkin's Will Part 2. We'll also have Star Wars Adventures, The Shadow of Vader's Castle, another Kevin Scott story. And then you got a couple, we don't really talk about the other books, but you also have, like, From a Certain Point of View coming out around that time. Pablo Hidalgo has the Complete Vehicles book coming out. So there's a lot of cool literature that you can pick up. And, of course, your comic books, we always want to encourage you to pick those up at your local comic book shop. Marie, before I let you go this week on Beyond the Panel, anything that you want to throw out there that we haven't discussed already?
No, I think we covered it.
You know what? We just have a fully comprehensive conversation here on Beyond the Panel. We talked a little bit about what Marie liked about this latest issue of Dr. Aphra, but she didn't give away all the goodies. If you want to get her spoiler-filled review, you can find that right now at BeyondTheBlastDoors.com. You can always find Marie's reviews every Wednesday afternoon on BeyondTheBlastDoors.com. Marie, thanks as always for your time.
Thank you so much.